Welcome to my world, where you will experience an atmosphere of love, relevant subjects, and motivation. So let's talk about things that matter. What matters to you matters to me. Welcome to the Brother Henry and You Show. I'm your host, Henry Harris. And as always, thank you so much for taking this opportunity to watch. We are in the middle of a series called The Untold Truth about relationships. Last week was part 1. This week we'll get into part 2. And I promise you, you do not want to miss an episode. We're going to go 7 weeks straight talking about divorce, red flags, everything that you can think of as it revolves around a relationship. It will be discussed right here on the Brother Henry and You Show. Today I want to talk about something that's very common among many people, and that is why we should never rush into a relationship. And I say it's common because it's something that so many people do. I believe that we all, at one time or another, if we were to be honest, have rushed into a relationship. But when I think about that, I think about that old phrase that says only fools rush in. Well, I can honestly say that at one time in my life, maybe you can too, that we've considered ourselves fools for rushing to something that should have never been established in the first place. Would you? We all at one time or another do or say things without even thinking it through first. One thing I am seeing in the relationship world is that the faster we rush into relationship, the faster we rush into marriage, the faster we look for the nearest exit, because sometimes it wasn't what we thought it would be. There are reasons why we rush into things, and we will be discussing that in this segment today. One thing I found myself asking is, why do people rush into relationships? Some people do it for many reasons. Maybe they don't want to be alone. I think that's a common one. Let's think of another one. Maybe they want validation. They need someone to validate them. They need someone to love them. They need someone to accept them. There are many reasons why we rush into a relationship. It may be a thing where they feel like they're going to lose the person if they don't get married right away or get into a relationship right away. Neither of those are actually good validations or reasons to do that. But I would say, even in giving those just few examples, I would say the overall reason is we don't take the time to think about the decision that we are making. What would some of our relationships and marriages look like if we took the time to ask ourselves, do I know what I'm about to get myself into? Do I know about the journey I'm about to embark upon? Many of us don't know, and you never will know until you think. There are also many other reasons why one may rush into a relationship. Here are some. Number one, they don't want to lose the person that they have interest in. Sometimes we want to, like I said earlier, we want to lock in with that person. We want to tie the knot, so to speak. We want to make it official because we don't want to lose that person. That is not a good reason to want to stay in a relationship with someone or rush into a relationship. Number two, they may see this as their only opportunity to be with someone. You got to consider that too. Sometimes people, especially people who have bad luck in having a relationship, and I'm talking about a healthy relationship, if they finally found someone, they'll rush into it because they may not have that opportunity ever again. Number three, they are lonely and feel they can't live without companionship. I need a man, I need a woman type of mentality. Number 4, trying to fill a void. There are many voids that people won't feel, whether that's love, acceptance, sex, no matter what it is. Sometimes people rush into a relationship to fill a void, when the reality is every void that you have or ever will require you to fill it, not someone else. You've also heard the phrase that says you can't give what you don't have. That is so true. If you are unhappy with yourself, if you don't like who you are, if you don't love yourself, it doesn't matter what I do for you. It doesn't matter what anyone does for you. You're still going to be the same until you make those changes within yourself. Number 5, codependent. This means that you take your sense of worth from pleasing other people. You need to be liked. Number 6, you may not even be sure who you are. You don't even value or know yourself. So how can you expect that from others? You have to give yourself the same grace that you extend to others. Or on the other hand, you cannot expect something from others that you do not give yourself. So let's face it, rushing into a relationship quickly can be dangerous. Let me ask you this question. If you can look into the future and see the outcome of your relationship you're about to rush into, would you still do it? I'm asking you that question today. If you can look into time and you see all the pain, the misery, the unhappiness, and all the things that would be attached to the relationship that you are about to rush into, would you still do it? Believe it or not, some would say yes and some would say no. This message challenges us all today to really think it through and not make a fast decision. And in some cases, by doing so, it can save not only your sanity, but your life. Have you ever rushed into a relationship and after it ended, you said, "What was I thinking?" I have. Why did I choose that person? Why did I even do that? I'm pretty sure we all have been down that road. You cannot change history. This is a powerful quote. You cannot change history, but you can change the present and your way of thinking. Whatever happened in the past happened. Failed marriages, failed relationships, failed friendships. That's called history. But here's the thing I want to encourage you. Don't repeat history. Repeating history is bad. It's a cycle. You find yourself rushing to relationships, rushing to marriage. I did it. It took me years to finally find myself and say, hey, I don't have to rush into certain things. So sometimes relationships don't work. They can be very hard, but even much more harder when you dive in head first. And I love using the example of, let's say you go to a pool. Well, a pool consists of water. Well, let's say you dive in without the water. You're going to end up hurt. Why? Because you don't have that water to sustain you and to protect you from you going head first, hurting yourself. It's the same way when you rush into relationships. When you rush into marriage, you're actually diving in head first, about to hurt yourself or cause some pain and devastation in your life, unwanted pain in your life. You're diving in with no water, no substance, no protection. This is your protection, is to think. Think things through. Here's the truth. Someone may not have told you That's why we call it the untold truth about relationships. Rushing into a serious relationship may cause it to fail. You need to slow down and hit the brakes. I'm often told by people what I had done differently 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 15 years ago. What would the Henry Harris today say to the Henry Harris then? I would say exactly what I'm telling you now. Slow down. Hit the brakes. There is a reason you shouldn't be rushing. Maybe like getting to know each other first a little bit more, proper downtime, going on dates, seeing where you're both compatible. You have to make sure that you're actually good for each other. Have you? And this is why and how you build a strong foundation with the person that you may have interest in. You can save yourself a lot of pain and heartbreak by taking it slow and learning to invest into each other. And I get it, no one is perfect. But you can still take time to learn each other, explore each other, and make an investment into each other slowly. I haven't always did this. I'll be the first to be honest with you, but I don't view any of my relationships, and you probably heard me say this quite a bit, I don't view any of my relationships as failures. I see them as lessons. And I often ask myself, why did I rush into certain relationships? Why did I rush into certain situations? Would I do it again? What would I have done differently? Oftentimes, emotional, unstable people are likely to rush into a relationship. You are not emotionally stable. So rush into a relationship, you may view him or her as your fixer. They cannot fix you. Only you can do that. My encouragement to you today, my friends, is to be patient with the process. Look at it in this light. Have your whole life in front of you. You may have had failed before, but this is your chance to do what? To think, to reason, to use your logic, and do the right thing. You may be happy that you've met someone, especially for the first time. There's always that happiness. They may give you butterflies and a sense of love and even a sense of security that maybe you've never felt before. But neither of these are an excuse to speed up the process. Don't rush. I've done it. And I can tell you from experience, it is a bad deal. Thank you for watching. Join me next week as we go into part 3. I see red flags. What do I do?
Hi. If you like what you've seen today, be sure to connect with Brother Henry at www.facebook.com/The Brother Henry and You Show. And also be sure to check out and subscribe to his YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/Henry Harris 100. We hope that this has been a blessing to you, and we hope to hear from you soon. Keep watching, because what matters to you matters to Brother Henry.